Okay, this is our topic, bounded linear operators. This is our recommended book, Introductory Functional Analysis with Applications by Erwin Krause. And today's our section is two conditions. Bounded linear operator. A bounded linear operator is defined as let x and y be two bound spaces and T is an operator from domain of T to Y, where domain of T is subset of X, such that for all x, y in X and scalars alpha we have number 1, T of x plus y equals to T of x plus T of y. Number 2, T alpha x is equal to alpha Tx. These are two conditions for an operator to be linear operator. For an operator to be bounded linear operator, we have an extra condition. This is Tx norm less equal to C times norm of x for a fixed real number C greater than 0. So if an operator satisfies these three properties, then that operator is called a bounded linear operator. For x equal to 0, we know that when T is a linear operator, then if x is 0, then T of 0 is 0. Let x is not equal to 0. Tx norm less equal to Cx norm can be written as Tx norm divided by x norm is less equal to C. In this way, it shows that the set Tx norm over x norm, x belongs to domain of T minus 0. This set is bounded above by C in R. Of course, Tx norm over x norm is a real number, and from Tx norm over x norm less equal to C, we can see that C is an upper bound of this set. This is subset of real number, and we know that by the completion property of R, every bounded above set has a supremum. So the supremum of this set must exist. This supremum is denoted by T norm. Therefore, we have T norm is equal to the supremum of the set Tx norm over x norm, where this supremum is taken over all x in domain of T except 0, because we cannot divide by 0. So Tx norm over x norm, this is less equal to T norm because T norm is its supremum, and hence Tx norm is less equal to T norm x norm. We can see that this T norm is in place of C. And by the definition of supremum, T norm is the smallest possible value of C. So if T is a bounded linear operator, then we can write Tx norm is less equal to T norm x norm. You can say that Tx norm is less equal to T norm will be separated from norm of x and it will be less equal. So Tx norm is less equal to T norm x. Some sort of Cauchy-Schwarz inequality, but not exactly same. Next is a remark. A bounded linear operator maps bounded sets onto bounded sets in Y. We can say that the image of a bounded set is bounded under a bounded linear operator T. This motivates the term bounded operator. This is why we call T as a bounded operator. Now it's proof. Suppose T from x to y is bounded. Then there exists a real number C greater than 0 such that Tx norm is less equal to Cx norm for every x in X. This is by definition of a bounded linear operator. Take any bounded subset A of X, and we prove that T of A is also bounded. Suppose A is any bounded subset of X. By definition of a bounded set, there exists a positive real number M such that X norm is less equal to M for every X in A. And now for any X in A, Tx norm, because T is bounded, Tx norm is less equal to Cx norm, and because A is bounded, Cx norm is less equal to C into M, because X norm is less equal to M. C, M both are non-negative real numbers, so their product is again non-negative real number, call it K. Then Tx norm is less equal to K, which shows that the set Tx is also bounded, because Tx norm is less equal to K. This shows that the range set Tx is also bounded. This shows that T maps a bounded sets in X into the bounded sets in Y. So this is the main characteristic of a bounded linear operator, that it maps a bounded set onto the bounded set. Or you can say that the image of a bounded set is again bounded. Before we consider general properties of bounded linear operators, let us take a look at some typical examples of these bounded linear operators. Number one, we have identity operator. The identity operator I from X to X on a normed space X is bounded and has the norm of operator is 1. We prove that this identity operator is bounded and the length of this operator is 1. Since, as we know that I of X is equal to X, so I of X norm will be equal to X norm. And we can write that X norm is less equal to C times X norm for any C greater or equal to 1. So this satisfies the definition of a bounded operator, because Ix norm is less equal to C times X norm, hence I is bounded. Further, we can calculate the length of I as I norm is, by the definition, I norm is the supremum of Ix norm over X norm. And we know that Ix norm is again X norm, so X norm divided by X norm will be 1. So this set is just contains 1. So the supremum of this set will again be 1. Hence, length of the identity operator is 1, and identity operator is bounded linear operator. Next example is zero operator. We already know that zero operator is also linear. Now we prove that it is also bounded. The zero operator 0 from X to Y on a norm space X is bounded and has the norm 0. Because we know that 0x equal to 0 for every X in X. So that's why 0x norm is equal to norm of 0, which is 0, and 0 is less equal to Cx norm for every C greater than 0. So by definition of a bounded linear operator, 0x norm less equal to Cx norm shows that 0 is bounded linear. Next, we show that its length is 0. We have length of zero operator is supremum of 0x over X, and 0x is 0, so 0 by X norm is 0. And this set just contains 0, so the supremum is again 0. Hence, length of 0 norm is 0. You can easily see. Next example is differential operator. Again, we know that this is very important operator. This is we have already proved that this is linear operator. Now, very interestingly, this is not bounded. Let X be the norm space of all polynomials on 0, 1. Why we are taking this space, the space of all polynomials? Because all polynomials are differential. And with the norm, X norm of a polynomial will be the maximum value and the absolute value of the maximum value, xt, from the maximum is taken over the interval 0, 1. A differential operator can be defined as T of X equal to Y, where X is any polynomial and T of X is Y. Y is another polynomial defined by Y of T is equal to X prime T. So this prime is actually the differentiation. This is the derivative operator. This operator is linear but not bounded. We prove that this is not bounded operator. For this reason, we can say that the unbounded linear operators are also of great interest, because differential operator is one of most important operators, and surprisingly, this operator is bounded. This is not bounded, this is unbounded. Suppose the differential operator is bounded. If it is bounded, then length of T will be finite. Let Xn belongs to X such that Xn T is simply T raised to power n. So x1 will be t1, x2 will be t square, x3 will be t cube. All these are polynomials. Then what is the derivative of t raised to power n? Txn is xn prime, where xn prime is n t raised to power n minus 1, because derivative of t raised to power n is n times t raised to power n minus 1. So what is norm of xn? Norm of xn is the maximum value of xn t from 0 to 1. We can have easily t raised to power n is xn. So what is the maximum value of t raised to power n? When t belongs to 0, 1, it is 1. Maximum value of t will be 1. So 1 raised to power n is 1. So length of xn is 1. Now we consider the length of txn. The length of txn is the maximum value of xn prime t, and the derivative of tn is, we know that tn n into t raised to power n minus 1. Maximum value of t is 1. So if we substitute t is equal to 1, this is n. And the length of dxn is n, while the length of xn is 1. Dividing these two, we know that length of t, because length of t is supremum of this ratio, txn over xn, so length of t is greater or equal to txn norm over xn norm. And txn norm over xn norm, this is n by 1, so this is n. Where n is this natural number, n can be 1, 2, 3, and up to so on. This is an infinite set, this is unbounded, and we have arrived at the result that if the length of t exists, then this length of t should be greater or equal to n, means this length of t should be greater or equal to every natural number, which is not possible because the set of natural number is not bounded about. So this is a contradiction, that t length is a number which is greater than every natural number, and this is not possible. So it is contradiction since n is arbitrary, which shows that our supposition is wrong. So the differential operator is not bounded, but it is unbounded. We conclude that t is not bounded. Our next example is integral operator. We can define an integral operator t from the set of all space of all continuous function to space of all continuous function simply by tx equal to y, where y of t is this integral. So this is the Riemann integral. Now our operator is Riemann integral, and which we prove that this operator is linear. Also, this is bounded. We have already done this is linear operator, of course. We just proved that this operator is bounded. We know that x of t, the value of x at any number t, this should be less equal to the maximum value of x of t. And the maximum value of x of t will be x naught. So x of t for any t from 0, 1 is always less equal to the length of x, because the length of x is the maximum value. And hence, because tx equal to y, so tx norm is y norm. And what is y? Y is actually integral of x. And if we see the length of y should be the maximum value of yt. And what is yt? Yt is integral of xt. From, this is typing error, this is from 0 to t. Okay. We know that the absolute value of integral is less equal to the integral of absolute value. And x of t from equation 2. X of t is less equal to norm of x. We replace x of t by norm of x. Then x norm will be constant, so it will be taken out of the integral, and integral will be from 0 to 1 dt. This will be 1. So it will the method, so because x norm is constant, and maximum value of t from 0 to 1 of x norm will again be x norm. Hence tx norm is less equal to x norm. The result is tx norm is less equal to x norm, which can be written as less equal to c time x norm, or simply equal to cx norm. If we take c is equal to 1, then this inequality holds, and tx norm is less equal to cx norm, which shows that t is bounded. So the integral operator is bounded linear operator. So these are very important examples of bounded linear operator. One example is the differential operator, which is unbounded, and the second one is the integral operator, which is bounded. So we conclude that the integral operator is bounded, while differential operator is unbounded. Both are important. So this shows the importance of both types of the operator bounded as well as unbounded linear operators. Next example is a matrix. We know that a matrix is, suppose A is a matrix of order m by n, then this matrix defines a linear operator from Rn to Rm. We defined as let x belongs to Rn, then T of x is equal to Ax, where Ax is an element of Rm, call it y, where x is equal to xj because x is n-tuple element, x belongs to Rn, y belongs to Rm, so y is m-tuple element, and we can define Tx is equal to Ax. A is a matrix of order m by n, x is a column matrix of order n by 1, so multiplication is defined, and when we multiply a matrix of order m by n with a column vector of order n by 1, we get another column vector of order m by 1. So this is an element of Rm. We know that the matrix multiplication Ax is linear, and we have already proved that this matrix operator is linear. We can also prove that this is bounded. I am leaving the proof up to you. You can easily see its proof, and we can prove that every matrix operator is bounded. There is a proof. So these are some examples. Now you may ask questions.